The Frontline with Kwekwanan, only on CTV. The Frontline with Kwekwanan, only on CTV.
The Global Info Analytic has published its latest poll exercise across some regional capitals, including some constituencies in the country. This polls come following a recent survey which gave former President John Dramani Mahama a slight edge over his competitors. Meanwhile, Global Info Analytic is expected to present its last poll before election 2024, which will bring to light who go for glory after election 2024. Tonight, we go out front and throw the light or the spotlight on the above polls and assess the very latest information. I am Kweku Anand, and of course, this is the Frontline. Tonight, we're coming to you live from this studio here in Accra, the headquarters, and of course, live across dozens of stations, all picking the feed. Tonight, we're live in, of course, in Sunyani 88.1 FM. We're live in Western Region on Tadi 99.1 FM. We're live in London on GOB Radio TV, on TuneIn and modernghana.com, and of course still on GOB Get It on www.gobtv.tv plus Apple Music. And of course we are live tonight on Information Superhighway, YouTube, Facebook, and the link is by CTVGH plus the interactive segment on the WhatsApp line 020-297-3461, 020-297-3461. All these messages would be read for you tonight. So keep bringing all your messages tonight on this very WhatsApp line. That's the interactive segment, not for call, but for messages that will be read. Tonight, we're joining the rest of the regional capitals all over Ghana. We're starting, it's of course a fresh week, and of course the month of August is just ending. Today being 26th day of August 2024, the year of our Lord. The month of August is gradually fading now. Tonight, we can say barely about 3 months left, 3 more months left to go to the polls. We join the rest of the regional capitals, starting from Upper East, Upper West, and we are sloping down to Northern Region, all the way to Ashanti Region. Capital, Kumasi, Greater Accra is picking the feed. We are picking the feed in Volta Region, and of course, Central Region is joining the feed. Brong Ahafo is also joining the feed, and of course, Western Region, the feed, and plus the 6 regional capitals, both Northeast and South, Bono East, Bono West, and all that you know across this very country, beyond then the global scope of Information Superhighway. Joining the feed tonight, we're bringing you the very exclusive, the very latest poll coming from Global Info Analytics, who is making the very journey down the aisle, carrying the very latest as far as the polls are concerned. Tonight, we're going to give you all the answers from the Global Info Analytics latest poll coming from Ashanti Region. We're going to assess what is going to happen as far as the poll is concerned in Ashanti Region, Bono Region, and then Ahafo Region. But of course, be mindful, it's about 6 polls conducted across these very regions. And tonight we are zeroing on 3 capitals and assess which political party is walking down the aisle. A very pretty fascinating poll. It's going to blow you. Very interesting indeed. Folks, I am Kweku Anand, your investigative journalist and a host of this show. Call a friend, call a brother, call a sister. Together we sit here, talk and make a sense of it all. The Frontline show tonight, we go out front and bring you all that you need to know. Let's get started. Minimisa here, and I dream a drama wo papa. A drama here, no, a new drama ketwa. And tonight it's a packed show. Enti unkwa enemy. Yentimi nya kwadro. Me frew na wo so afrew nua. Na unua bi so na ya tenase na ya eden. Ya dwendwene dwumedie ho. Asem kese na ye de beto ho anadwi. Emu ohye. Asem ben na eba edwumaku ye from Global Info Analytics for one makofo mo kaye a That should be, I think, about last month or so. Any executive director Musa Dankwa Edin Komo and Okachire say, one more call aqua ye exercise biswaba. Nasa exercise no moba, nature say, and no baye next to the last pose. And Omuria, one betting Sisu Jina say, political party way and all walking down the aisle to go for glory. Hey, folks, and I who papa and I critical. Well, one latest poll now, Madiabano, and we are very shaky. Now, one of my appro all over 6 regions and on plus some constituencies are one of my exercise. Now, we are going to focus primarily on 3 of the region out of the 6. Yeah, pick it 3. Then Wednesday we'll look at the next 3. Now, and I do it here by the same. 3 now yeah be shemuno. Ashanti region, Bono region, and then Ahafo. Assembly nesi wo. Political party ben and ye ka say odi hi in Ashanti region. Political party ben and wodi hi ewo Bono region. Political party ben and wodi hi ewo Ahafo. Folks, I know what Namukaya, the last poll or it was clear that the former President John Dramani Mahama had a slight edge over the rest of the competitors. Samobekaya. Nature says, Sa poll no muye no. E bie kwan ama John Dramani Mahama said, as of that time, no, so mo to abadia, na John Mahama is carrying the glory. Now, could it be a well, pretty fascinating development as they went back and Yamafufrobi as a grounds in Ashanti region, right? In Ashanti region, as far as Ashanti region, capital Kumasi, which is the World Bank of the governing New Patriotic Party. What is the poll saying in Ashanti region? Now, there was something very pretty fascinating and also happening in their last polls. Just quickly, Abra NPP4, a select running mates, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeno. For 4 core grounds, assessment to be. Now, we could peg on the assessment and say the euphoria on the ground of Matthew Opoku Prempe, then pushy MPP to a certain level. Now, as of now, it's been how many days, weeks? Opoku Prempe was elected. No, ye baby said, how is the governing New Patriotic Party performing in their World Bank? How is the governing New Patriotic Party utilizing their political preponderance? Underline the word. How are they utilizing their political preponderance on the ground? How is it? Is the NPP still maintaining that political preponderance, or there is what you call a shift-shape approach? Why? If there is, then the question remains, why? If not, then the possibility also to say that NPP is climbing up ever since Matthew Opoku Prempe was elected. Now, if one more chances and as a dwindle, we should begin to ask the questions. Is NPP, if anything, Ashanti region actually, and may I say, Woma welcome Matthew Opoku Prempe, and also say the selection of Matthew Opoku Prempe is not in the best interest of the Ashanti people. Which one is which? Tonight, all the answers are ready. Tonight, all the answers are ready to this pose, Masame Viniagro. And until menya quadro tonight, Frewunia, Frewadamfo, Frewo sister all over the world. Be a Ghana for more, yeah, the post near Bremo, the very latest. Now, how is the NPP performing in Ashanti region? How is the NDC performing in Ashanti region? Now, Yabeba Bono region. How is the NPP performing in Bono? How is the NDC also? And then Yabeba Ahafo. Ahafo, so the NPP air performance saying, NDC air performance saying, then we can zero down to the rest of the candidates. Say, Alan Kojo we'll look at Nana Van saying, Bediako, also known as Shada. Womina a figures be but folks, so we'll share election 2024. Kweku, I can stick my neck without any shred of equivocation. Say, the contest of election 2024 lies in between the 2 parties, NPP, NDC, and Assembly. Now, Anajue, the bachelor idea air course was our regions and how the NPP is shaking the grounds, how NDC is shaking the grounds. Pretty fascinating development. Folks, you can't miss this. All this plus, over the weekend, these two major political parties here have been very, very busy, as it were, one launching the manifesto, and then one also meeting the press to what? Answer some very fundamental questions. Folks, I know what they papa, and of course, the breaking news story, which I believe a lot more of you have heard, is well, as possible time before the month of September, Ghana is going to be hit with some food crisis. Just a com kesiebi eba be share or main so yenye duane eni. Folks, Mamika say the government and I said Ghana ehia sika saying 500 million United States dollars. 500 million United States dollars. Say sika we Ghana here say sika we e dia eden e dia kokre duane e dia ba anya sa the month of September ye ko wrem no eranam asem kese be si man mu ha. This is how umpenimfo no abro be yie ene adwen a enye adwuma ena ama yedru ha. Se ma ho e ko kan msi ko akuminim kasa mu se matra ho am ekom kese ebe de Ghana o in the month of September going no se aban we anye bibi enrezi se sika we 500 million United States dollars. Now be a million we can't we use this money to turn the agri sector? So now be say planting for food 1 and 2 ewe he. Then who your baby sir? 1 district 1 dam ewe he. Now on the back of say Ghana ebabe suffer food deficit we now. This is coming against the backdrop of the drought in many of our food growing areas. Now, business, what did we do? Did we see this coming? This is where Brian Echampo, you, a minister in charge, as a ultimate chef, Magana to me born home, papa, there be Brian Echampo, Jina, a friend is saying, campaign platform, and all kind of say, ways and means. We are political party, we are political party, we are political party, and ways and means. And yet, this time, the battle is the Lord. And still the law, so no, it's about the end. Ways and means. Tonight, folks. Now, the flag bearer of the governing party, Ura Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia, and Ra Umiti President. Now, the question SMBC woho Nina Eba tonight. And Ra, I felt quite sorry for Bawumia, but then Ra so enemy who. The Vice President Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia really at his best. I know that this morning, if you listen to the news wires, quite a number of people have criticized the critique press with interaction. I'm for criticized, but I differ with people. Yesterday program was Bawumia was at his best. And guys, no so mukano friends miracles abuajin ene kwabna ukunumu conducted the friends exercise very well. But something happened. All of this coming on the very, very nation's biggest investigative magazine show. Of course, as we go out front tonight to bring you all these perspectives, analysis, and then we make the permutation as to what in the next couple of days, weeks, month, 3 more months to go to the polls. Who is walking down the aisle? Per the poll, no, any normal capture channel. If this trajectory continue, then most likely say NPP, most likely say NDC is walking down the aisle. Sanetiana, tonight we have all the answers for you. Enya asama emu edru crack. WhatsApp messages on the for 0202973461 making kani namo. Now, mini ada just now of course mpinifo be joining and check crack. Up next, Ghana Speaks proudly brought to you by Ora Black Star for located at Ofankoheya or Misrao. Ochina ko na no munkodi nkomo ede na wo hwehwe eya asase e won kra precisely ni nan to kwaguso wo be kono land guard fu oguso ade ekrom ne eden etuo ensekan nkotokuro ene nsrada ene grant ene egu ho wo ma ready offensive weapons wo me de bekun na wankɔ hɔ na anyɛ den wanfa wankoto asase bi atisi na anyɛ den me ma wonya trouble we ye siesie ho aye ne kama asase eso papa ye siesie ho akogye asase yantam we ye pese obesi hotel no ye pese obesi wo offense wo pension house no wo so ye pese obesi wo Airbnb no wo so obesi hotel no wo so no wasum edwo enu nti asase we ya bommodin apɛ offense ensuo e de kɔ ho ye de electricity e kɔ ho ye yi kwan ni na kama nti wo dia ne sa na pɛ wiye ne anadwo e na wo pese okosi dan na akwanya ho wo pese omo ye papers no a simple famidin ko wo frame penifo na eye ora blaster for na ma na egu screen so no from 053 617 6327 053 617 6327 na ka chom say Kwaku Anan of CTV Frontline say me mfremo na mo bema me asase kama boni bie no mesraw staff on sase no akonya da ho no kama ubetuetua ne kakra wo sika so no wetuani na brum preko no wakwa de wakwohye dan ne say take a listen to this beautiful land.
Oro Black Star Limited. Our lands are everywhere. It depends on the customer's preferred location. We have lands in areas such as Kwabinya, Amasaman, Kaswa, Denchira, Bruku, Botsiano, and Insawam. Our lands are very affordable and has no litigation issues. Our lands comes in various sizes such as 70 by 100, 35 by 100, and among others. We have a flexible payments plan that is 3 months, 6 months, and 9 months. The areas are well developed. No need to worry about electricity, water, and other social amenities. You can contact us on 030-2452-555, 030-2452-555, or visit our website at www.oralblackstarlimited.com. Oral Black Star, your preference, our priority.
Great folks, anadri asem waha. Na ensem bebre mo ma me 1 minute ma me need maybe na me fa me twetwa niam ngum ma mo fast what sisi a me demo ba bewura the religious belts. Now, our crusade toward exposing fake and charlatans hidden in the ministry of Christ takes us tonight to the state of slavery in Christianity na Adentia. Yegusua bogana fonka ye especially a Christopher a mosom onyankopon na akonua sa enipa bi so ensuro onyankopon wo bosoro ne asase na wo modi onyankopon din ede aye hanam amomose wo enada kwan so na wo nsuro onyankopon ne edada nipa gigi nipa ede wo mko seye mu oseye na wo modi wo mu nipa ekom no wo modi onyame din na abata ho nti eya wo se ususu se wo dwen se onipa no wo ye onyankopon ba onye onyankopon ba ena kyese akwankyira hodo a yedi nipa ewurem ne yese nipa religion o eye esom Kristosom na edi nipa enya na obi se nipa amfa no ho ankoti bie mu a na anye den hwe kwan a tebia akoniase bia yedi nipa we no afa so all because esom emusunsum no ene ya de ato nipa no so say ena se osu ene oban esi eye na we nsu hwe se de esom ayema nipa bi aye nkoa ewo onyankopon nim ene omankasa omo ho ene omokra. Watch this, take a lesson.
There's an epidemic in Africa right now, which is worse than cholera, which is worse than malaria, which is worse than HIV, which is even worse than Ebola. This epidemic is called religion. Religion has caused many problems in Africa. We see Muslims and Christians fighting each other. We see families falling apart because of religion. Siblings not talking to each other. Children not talking to their parents because a false prophet gave a false prophecy telling people that their mother is the cause of their downfall. And their mother wants to kill them. Your own mother who carried you in her womb, sacrificing literally everything to take care of you. If she wanted to kill you, she could have done that while you were still a fetus. But you believe a pastor more than your own mom who loves you unconditionally. I see people dying day after day because the pastor told them not to take their pills and that they should fast and pray and that everything will be okay. Meanwhile, this pastor takes his family to the best doctors in the country. I see people buying anointing oil, holy water, handbands and stickers for protection. Meanwhile, your pastor is walking with bodyguards, with full security in his home. I've seen poor people giving these fake pastors all the money they got, and they'll go home empty-handed and hungry, starving themselves and their own children, while these so-called pastors driving expensive cars and live in mansions. The Bible says, lack of knowledge, my people perish, and it is true. People are literally perishing because we've thrown away knowledge, wisdom, common sense, and understanding. We keep following these con artists, these tricksters, these false prophets like sheep to the slaughterhouse. People are doing dumb things, being physically and emotionally abused right in front of the congregation, and at times even on national TV. It's very appalling, some of the things that these preachers ask their members to do. Some ask them to drink detergents, some kiss and touch their members sexually, some even go to the extent of body slamming their members, all in the name of healing and deliverance. It's about time people wise up and stop falling for this scam. Let's stop worshiping these so-called men of God and worship God himself, because Jesus came to die so that we may have a relationship with him. And now that we may have a relationship with him through other people, he died so that we may become his friend. The Bible says Elijah was a man just like us. He prayed earnestly that it would not rain, and it did not rain on the land for 3.5 years. The same power that lived in Elijah is the same power that rose Jesus from the grave, and that same power lives in you and I. So stop moving from one pastor to the other, asking them to pray for you, asking them to deliver you, and pray over yourself. Pray over whatever situation that you're going through, and God will surely hear you. If only you have faith in him, if only you trust and obey him, nothing should stand in your way. Shalom.
Great, folks. So we share idea we are Christosum no baby adini panam no. Quite sad, is it not? Now, my yura politics of today. Tonight we begin politics of today by congratulating both these two major political parties, NDC and MPP. The weekend has been extremely busy on the radar of both parties plus the media. Just say, I see a ball mabaso MPP for, I see a ball mabaso Vice President, also the running, also the flag bearer of the governing New Patriotic Party, Alhaji Mahamadou Bawumia, met the press and rap. And Omudidim Komo, Ekoyi. Afi NDC, led by the flag bearer of the party, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and so one more Echo Simpa. Now, the NDC, as you know, over the weekend, Emma launched a manifesto, Ewe Simpa, Winnie Baho, in the Central Region. Now, on the front line of the NDC manifesto, former President John Dramani Mahama earlier touted what he called a 24-hour economy. I'll tell you, and this has resonated well with the Ghanaian social class. And now we are hearing from the NDC, they are also going on touting another policy, if you like, another exam. Free tuition for first-class academic students across public universities, and the youth is speaking this very adiwe thick and fast. Ora John Mahama, at the policy abeto as our policy what to need in 24-hour economy. Ever since our toutus adiwe, Ghana for now I embrace Ora John Mahama. I was adiwe. Se see adio the abeto one so no. Say all the public universities ni na no. Se ye bie na ye kwa. First year students ni no bia ni ha obetua bibia. The government of John Mahama say we may take sa ekano. Is it, and it's true. Obia wako university unim say they are making. Just say a hona challenge na wo unya ko remu a the rest in share and hard bia. Now, if you look at this, people are going along with this very policies where John Dramani Mahama out here or the Piabontia Ibrikatu ejina so papa. But you see, at a point, na me catch MPP for them. So our 24-hour economy, it then became like NPP communicators be or Madrid said they will start punching holes, including Bawumia and Ankasa, but Anyeduma. Now, On Sunday, the vice president and also the flag bearer of the governing New Patriotic Party, Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia, met the press at Moving Pick in a colorful ambience of its atmosphere, answered a lot of questions. Indeed, the vice president was in his very best posture and received all the ballistic questions and answered them. And that, I will tell you folks, was phenomenal. The flag bearer Emma MPP Alhaji Bawumia, Asia Press, said, this is one of a press interaction of its kind. One, he did so well. Two, I saw Vice President Bawumia in the very best of me posture. Just say, in that ambience of atmosphere, so colorful enough, say he did his best. I've had a lot of people have criticized it and blah blah, or Fambona and then. No, I didn't see that. The vice president put up his best. Two, it was one of a press interaction. He was well composed, and yet the time we say Bawumia, Sidiano or Tony Sidiano down, and I feel when he was so stable behind the microphones and answering questions. And I have to commend the vice president for that very, he was so resolute, he was fixed, he was firm, and he knew what he was doing at that very material. Of course, the handlers need to say, Dennis Miracles, Abuajenum, Samia Okunum also did a fantastic, and I salute them. In fact, one very unique Adibi Krisi and them, whilst the program was ongoing, most, if not all the media houses are now were telecasting this live. And there was some inconsistency in their reportage. And right there, they have to correct the media for them to get it done properly. And for me, that was unique indeed. Trust me. Now, however, I took a cognizance of a question posed to him. And the question was, Afimidemuko baby. Now, I don't know, may I say, how I saw the vice president do. But the question was posed to him. And the question was, quote, if your fundamentals are weak, your exchange rates would expose you, unquote. And flag bearer Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia admitted to this fundamental weakness in his government. Well, question we are yebisa Bawumia no. Yebisa ne say, answer obedia to we say, no kasa asem way ede kire ababy say, when your fundamentals are weaker, your exchange rates would expose you. So journalists ni pose our question man and say, do you see saying that the fundamentals of your economy is exposing you, Mr. Bawumia? And guess what? The vice president and also the flag bearer of the governing party NPP answer Odemae when the journalists pose their question. Take a listen to him.
Asking if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you, which is a truism. It was true then, and it's still true today. It's an economic truism that once the fundamentals weaken, you will see the impact on the exchange rate fundamentally. And when we talk about many of these fundamentals, you're talking about the GDP growth rate, you're talking about the fiscal balance, you're talking about the exchange, the reserves, level of the reserves that you have, inflation, and so on. When we came into office, during the first term before we hit COVID, between 2017 and 2019, you saw the fundamentals pretty much strengthening by all accounts. And exchange rate depreciated in those 3 years by less than 5%. That was the lowest depreciation in the currency for 28 years. 28 years. That was the lowest depreciation of the currency. I think we went up even after COVID, we didn't get that high a depreciation. But the biggest shock for the economy came in 2022. All hell was breaking loose in 2022. Inflation, 54% as at November 2022. Exchange rate had depreciated 54%.
Folks, what he? Enti asemno na ora baumia o ka kire aban bi na no ene wo hu say ye fidie eyi no. MPP ni ye kasa asem e kire mo. At the time no edru baabi no afi enemu ye den ama kire economists were advising the government of Adudanko Akufo-Addo led government say muntu na mo munye de esene fata ye kan bia wo mo so mo fa nye aduma owura Obamia eye niema bebre oka osu no ye kan say but today the vice president, also the flag bearer of the governing party tonight, is here to eat as of yesternight. Could no longer hide behind otherwise. It's a Russian-Ukraine war. Folks, get to understand it here. He could not hide the debilitating effect of the economy at the time that he still continued to chair the economy and hide behind the Russian-Ukraine war. Because as I speak to you, even though the Russians are still shelling Ukraine with all the ballistic missiles and the Tomahawk and what have you, but still, Ukraine continued to produce 56% of the global consumable oil. Ukraine continued to produce a significant portion of the pharmaceutical products. And you sit here and you tell me, Kweku said, no, your economy is being affected by that war. The proximity of Russia and Ukraine has nowhere in the borderlines with Ghana yet. This is what MPP, you were singing this, they've been chorus, Russian-Ukraine war, Russian-Ukraine war. Guess what happened again yesterday? Baumia went further to also admit that in the year 2022, he could figure Ghana in the narrative of Sri Lanka's situation. This means Ghana was on the edge of suicide mission. Ahana Mere Homa vice president and said, I feel somewhere in the year 2022, maybe I'm not Ghana econo. It's as if that Ghana was heading towards a shipwreck, like we're going to hit the iceberg, not the tip of it, that the economy need a life oxygen to survive. And it was so clear, sir, we were heading to a mission. Sir, I didn't see what Sri Lanka, many of you know. It got to a point in the life of Sri Lanka, no, a bino or tiswano, wamanimusu or tito kwayem, the government forces, high-ranking government officials, all of them, wamujane. So, and run about the government of a friend saying, Akufo-Addo okahonom, na ohona na omudi ye kwa kudru. Na nemi nim so no Baumia Akufo-Addo kahono. Womu to wirem e wo Jubilee House wa na so womu to kwayem. Emirikatuo no ehina na omudi befa. Wehu. Yesterday, the vice president was very honest with Ghanaians. Take a listen to him, the Sri Lanka's narrative. Listen.
Exchange rate stability. In all of this, I want you to take this away. When I looked at what was happening in 2022, the 54% depreciation of the cedi, it was very scary. In fact, in 2022, this economy was on the verge of collapse because you saw our reserves declining very steeply. The exchange rate was blowing up, inflation was up, and my worry at that time, frankly, was that I could see this country moving towards Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was what was clearly in my mind at that time, because you saw protests in Sri Lanka. They had no fuel. Dumsor was there, and when you saw the way our reserves were moving in 2022, we were heading right in that direction, that we were going to get queues on the street. We couldn't buy fuel, we couldn't pay for so many things. And it was in that context that I came up with two policies. One was the gold for oil policy and the gold purchase program of the Bank of Ghana, because
Ati, and at the home. Some home. The state in which are near finding a home. But as we cano, no mubejatum say no, we need a clear path. Ghana need to, as it were, cut a clear path and escape. But would the MPP listen at that time? Would the MPP go with that humble request and a clarion call that they need to do X, Y, Z? No, am I ready? Answer is no. But may I say tonight that for candidates Bawumia to admit these fundamental challenges, I will tell you tonight, marks a turning point and of course elucidates the beauty of democracy. And may I say tonight, Puntimi Yusue against Bawumia Maninye. No. The fact that Bawumia has admitted that when your fundamentals are weak, your exchange rate would expose you. What do you call it? No, what jatum ayam from swo when Yankopon canasem so say. So Bono for crown who from swo no or pay no car. Ye use emphasize against no. Into we won't mean find your politics money. No, the fact that Bawumia has come out to admit the wrongs of his government, the wrongs of his footstep, the wrongs of his handwriting, which brought Ghana, made Ghana to go that ditch. Who you saw against it? What you see? But I don't know, Brunibeka says, so what is next? I want to make too little, too late. Bawumia would have to go home and learn the fundamentals again. But won't you use against him? A politics would require against him. It's unfair. You can't do that. Now, but still on Bawumia, this is another different chapter. He's asking Ghanaians to vote for a brand new candidate. He continued that voting for John Dramani Mahama is a second-hand failed president. Well, in a sharp response from an MPP sympathizer to Alhaji Bawumia goes like this. Ora Bawumia say who vote ama John Dramani Mahama a second-hand failed president. Not just say Obia ye use soon de that. Into who vote ama no not just say any panel. Seb in previous at the Pepe be any musa. But our cast has some way we another top NPP sympathizer be within MPP now sympathizer and so I'm about me a response to this. On a very sharp one saying and or them about me. Take a listen to this one.
Brand new na mope anase second hand. Enti move what mamia. Ubenya brand new tier rubber president. Ubenya brand new tier rubber president. Na omampenye na radia. Move what mamna. Na mwanya second hand failed president. Second hand failed president. Na
yepenia waye da enye ne a wosie na onye yepenia wosie a woyo ne a waye bida delegate for amoto aba oman na hwe ase agina monsem oman ni mpaja so gina monsem mumma mani na ho enti a word to a wise is enough enti obi ka se so fo su bempa hyenkom o hyenkom se Dr. Bawumia ena Ghana Namia yina magana nya nokre me hye enkom se bia masa hweso.
That was a sharp one, folks. Now, it is interesting to know that until politics switch to high gear in a campaign season, it is most oftentimes uncommon to figure out that some politicians could lower their integrity and credibility take a rag to mop the floor, ultimately to secure political power. And tells you, say, a brow who say, these your politicians way, aqua from no person or daho, or person was sakete, Emma Wodaswo, and no best sense you are mamma, and also obey a deno. That's our politician is show power. These are some of the crooks. The Ghanaian politicians, you know, a brow who say, what bafum, or yell say, was so, what yell mammy dende, what yell the onyakro betruno, not just a conia sebia war pen widing, what you 2 minutes through in 70. Onyanya 2 minutes through, some say, pum, no, Johnny. Then they run away with their SUVs, Land Cruisers, no matter. The number no was his son, who friend a woman. Now, business, I didn't know my answer. A demon, a young said, you go all the way to the bottom of said, Gatamuko better. Nanyamina do. That Ghanaian won't in Capium. And an unknown beacon or say, Akufado, Caliponoa, Yadima, no me or Trotton, company. Okay. The best social politician, Nebisa who said, it is Sabri, say, you two war part, you know, the demand in oil. A politician, may take a lesson to take a lesson. So we fear na ne yere afrene se kwado me de benkune si dia so ntukotu kakrama me eno ano obefa ne kisi na wa wasa kisi ya pam we dwane no woko me fear ena ne yere se kwame kwado benku si dia so ntutwimu kakrama me obedwane okode dade wa faki so dia nti no ye se benku no wo kan se konkonte no wogina so hwe ne ne bedia na hwese de wosi na mo sanfa ne mra hwese de wosi twi benku no se konkonte I don't know they do wosi twi ado so nice and neat ababa kukura ni watch it again monjade febra monfem no nye we ya monfem no that o kan benku monfem no yes what can I say? Ya, you watch MP said, you know, so we hear power. Onyanya power, you say, Ram, save your own. Well, all too soon, we are approaching December 7th to cast our vote. However, it does appear Chairman Wood-Tumi of NPP has finally settled on who to vote for and also urging supporters to vote same. Enche aka 3 months pe. Yes sir. Chairman Wood-Tumi aye nadwene say fi say ene yen or san so urge supporters ni na say supporters no so yeden enko no omunkoto the same. Sentia Basa and Minim, but was settled with himself and urging his supporters, saying and opesa as some no de to mobiati as take a listen to him.
For Yesramu, it's Yesrasa, Mumma Yamfa, Yamtu Yabano, and Fama, and yet John the money.
My campaign is done for today. Tomorrow I'll come back. So listen to Chairman Wood-Tumi,
For Yesramu, it's Yesrasa, Mumma Yamfa, Yamtu Yabano, and Fama, and yet John the money.
My campaign is done for today. Tomorrow I'll come back. So listen to Chairman Wood-Tumi,
For Yesramu, it's Yesrasa, Mumma Yamfa, Yamtu Yabano, and Fama, and yet John the money.
Hamadwene abano yatwewe o chairman na esie. Tonight I have a simple question for the running mate to Alhaji Muhammadu Baumia. Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe. question may be saying is there. Was he forced to take up this mate's position way, or he merits the position? Which one of the above? Question me be saying is Ora Matthew Poku Prempe. Sa running mate way, ye for so ya ne de share nsa na say was say na ofata. The entina make us say ye do ye running mate o every way as I say what to tune your ye will be biara wo ye wa bon ten so ko uhun siesie said ya wo kasa obedwam said ya wo nante wo wedua ne diem will be biara sa ese wo ye de senti ewiase ye say that wunim say obedi hini a ese uhun said ya wo ye wo niam obedwam adan about me be ye evensen opoku prempe be ye niam bi ati say eniam na ebi ni say take a listen to this.
Wow, we be vice president ya. Say kombe di obe riga na bulu nyina. Okay, so we do say kweku. Wow, we be vice president ya. Say kombe di obe riga na bulu nyina. Okay, so we do say kweku.
Folks, now my mom with the breaking news story. Food soon to hit Ghana pretty soon, and stakeholders, including Ministry of Defense, have met today to strategize how to mitigate this looming storm. Now, from the report, HSA, Ghana need an amount of 500 million United States dollars to mitigate this looming crisis, or else we may soon go on a suicide mission. As somewhere that one say, I feel or may a comcasia ebabedie. Mohu said ye see ye nyoma fa 21st century. A comcasia ebedi Ghana for assembling the way air battery. Many of our food growing areas need nara a face the ben drought. Is you anyhow. Nenona earlier na mi bisa say planting for food 1 and 2 ekowie saying 1 district 1 dam ekowie saying mohu de yabra botie entiminemu ka say o may ehia 500 million United States dollars to be able to push and give Ghanaians food. Say bisa say what has happened to Ghana, the buffer stock ede na eko eduane ni o memu o mohu bra ya bo ene bra ye gusu a ye bo se enra na se minya ba o mia na asema me bisa na say on my the statistics as it were now. How much has Ghana invested in the importation of rice? 1. 2, importation of poultry. 3, importation of the vegetables and the rest. Let me so on my statistics 1. 2, on chair why justify this? And 3, afi omisa me on country me senti and the government into taking this initiative. Munim how much of rice are you import about and in billions of metric tons rice. Mahu and neye ni beya on my Ghana prebebia yedro in 1975. One of Ghana's head of state led by Lieutenant General Ignatius Kutu Echampon. Hwadia Kutu Echampon eyema on my way. Kutu Echampon launched the operational friend is saying OFY, Operation Feed Yourself. Ghana for be bring masama making. Operation Feed Yourself, then they buy. Ghana could harvest food. Food was in abundance. Nowhere and at no point Ghana went hunger for food. To the extent, say, the whole of Esuchare, Tono, and the northern belt became hub for rice cultivation. Ghana was producing tomatoes, onions, and were exporting tomatoes, onions to Burkina Faso, Togo, Niger, and other neighboring countries within the range. Now, guess what? Kutu Echampon and making sure Ghana was also exporting fish to South Korea and Japan. Go and check the record. A soldier, a military officer, Sabi, no on Harvard, on Cambridge, on baby, or you're just stenographer keke. Kutu Champon. This is what Kutu Champon did for this country. And guess what? Kutu Champon era, and on making sure that Ghana's debt against our debt portfolio told the Bretton Woods institution, said no, yentia, ampanso 94.4 million United States dollars. Kutu Champon repudiated this money. He repudiated it. And on a cover pressure at the bar Ghana, so by the Bretton Woods institution said now they have to cancel Ghana's debt credits. And so out of these circumstances, we pressure buyers, so they said, Afi Bretton Woods institution said, guess what Kutu Champon did? Kutu Champon and make sure say, okay, some consumable items, they said sardine, milk, any beef, Nina yebe ration, near subsidize it. Into a subsidize it, now government in a cockrass annual way no deba. Or the bar, if you retail stores, namely shops near them. Yet the mawa, yet the amount, I was our price we, ye expect us also cut on the price we. And to imagine, say, at that time, no, we were able to determine the price marketer. Na kalabule something as if just he did this to stabilize the Ghanaian currency. This is Kutu Champon's brain. Oriano, Kutu Champon ensure say, on my Lieutenant Kendall Wine Mayela, who was in charge of Agricano, and making sure that Ghana was not importing cotton. He saved about 30 million Ghana cedis out of the importation of cotton. Ni nani wa Ghana. Yes. And then where mokra tomato, onion from Niger Heyao, Niger, Burkina Faso, mokra fria. All of these consumables are imported. In Tiene, we say, from 1971. All the governments go and come seeming capable of reversing this trajectory of their disease way. NDC, MPP, 32 years. At least for the fact that we have to eat every day. When it comes to food, a non-compromising situation, and therefore, between MPP and NDC, let's go and sit in parliament and make a policy, a nationwide policy. Say, a baby or baby piano. Would you say, yen na yen kambom say ediane, yen create biom. Let's go for wine. Kutu Champon's policy we. And don't say Kutu Champon told Ghanaians something. Say, every Ghanaian biarano try to reserve a portion of your land at the backyard and use it for what you call backyard cultivation of food. And then Ghana phobe briana women they are making. Many of them over in the backyard no, with their banche, a bro, with their body, and even be brave. Many of them will not go to market. And once of them future, they will kutraba. Kutu Champon on this side we share Ghana food team. And the man will be a brabo ne kudro. Mon will be a brabo ne kudro. A bodam for Jimmy stupidity. A bino mobile naya crom for criminals and thieves. What the other says, Sikana ba. Sikana bano, ni the answer ye dealing yafunya, di ma. Sikadia, ni adia, and ye drama. Ediani bedia queen keke. Edianio. Yet ask me a question, say Kweku, do we have land for all of this? Yes, we have. You are sassy a bit to the bro. You are sassy. Look, the whole of Esutare and the Northern Belt. Kutu Champon at the year rice. Yeah, export TV. Ghana was not important. We were exporting food to many countries, including say exporting fish to Japan and South Korea. You think it's easy? At that time now, because Kutu Champon say why Lee Kwanzu just say at his best. Nete Kutu Champon yeweya and nemriya. We are seeing now transform it to this transition way, and the DNA office a Ghana and the DNA be no. By this time, food basket now, Bafana Ayama. Mon ya brabo. We don't think. Brande Champo jine abetifi ho. Wo jina himfa they did war ye keke. We are a political party. We are a political party. Ways and means. A summer worker and Sabinyansa enim. Meanwhile, sector no what is one. As some dahwa as washer me a canny. Are we thinking? MPP, NDC, 32 years. Are you people thinking, are you putting Ghana on the proper footing? Eduani ebedio. Eduani ebedi. Enumpo, no, it mark a turning point of our continuous failure. I'm not talking about infrastructure. A food, eduani obedi. If you're not able to produce eduani for your citizens, then guess what? You are a failed government. We're failing, and you see a palmable NDC MPP. You must ensure, say, eduani ebedi Ghanaians, as I say, import to you. And now, importation of rice, about my name. Now, importation of poultry, any other food staples. You have all the lands for this. The amount of sika, 500 million United States dollars, more to safeguard the situation. Other than that, Ghana beko hunger. Eya na mumpeni for no ho. Wo mpa ebi na be bo bia ma oboma omo. Se wo hom so na be tu omo for atu omo for na nyen kaka ye emfem omo wate. Na Ghana wi ye ejinanya. Folks, me dem ko short break me ba. Ghana Speaks extension, of course. Musa Dankwa, Executive Director, My Info Global Analytics, will join me shortly. And exclusive, who? Why? Political party bang and will make it in Ashanti. And then I have all this coming up. Exclusively and explosive. Coming. Don't you flip the dial. I am Quick One. I'll be back shortly. This is the Frontline Show. I'm Quick One. And now, we've walked one leg of the journey, remaining one, and it's just marking 2 minutes approximately gone past the hour 9. Tonight, my guest, Executive Director, Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa, joins me shortly. Now, yabe exercise. Now, had the pakunya transo because the urban huchi bibia. Tonight, party Bain will join in. Now, party no, Max Bain. Positive inroads men are all making in the regions are now Global Info Analytics for aye edwuma pa war regions but my member one show say Ashanti region, Bono region, ahafo afisu mura Ablikma Central, Weja, Bawe, Bono East, Eastern region and Northern region. Now the Ablikma Central, Weja, Bawe and Bono East, Eastern region and a Northern region. They te anadri the mura ahafo region, Bono and then region. Now menene besha sie free ahafo na fi the aba Bono ni ebura Ashanti region. Adibie si Ashanti region ebro madwen so. And I want you to guess. Between NDC and MPP, Adibie si ho ebro madwen so. But folks, before obebemno Adibi Baso coming up in the month of October. In the month of October, The Frontline show would go out front in its latest review of the Japadia document. And we urge listeners and viewers to gauge the space in the coming months. This review, titled Japadia Decide. Right? Frontline, back, the month of October, and yebeshasiye. Afi ye Japadia book way toho. Ni yebe remu 1, 2 na this time. Yebeko deeper than we did previous. Ne mube hupa. From now on, see the month of October and Niagara. Every day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, pacho ma odal and I need to subscribe to a Frontline CTV. Your link on my CTV GH. Subscribe. Send a beya. Yeah, shasi obe hu di echo. The ebe PM hu papa the Japadia document. And unti title dia to sa review we and expose ye be ya tunidin a Japadia Decide. Ben SMP folks. Enti Shannon. So of course my WhatsApp message you know 02029734610 02029734610 making kind message now. My guest Musa Ewahasi Ebedi and Musa Menwakwaba. Great one. Now, first of all, how is the field work so far? I guess it's been stressful, you know.
Because your
pressure wumpa.
We have a lot of people on the ground. Okay. It's much more seamless a process, but here coordination.
I see.
Constant touch with the base.
Wow. I'm getting a lot of messages, and people are eager to know what's going on in this post, especially Ashanti region. We knew why it's here. But Mami, first of all, let's sail to Ahafo. Now, Mami Kaim was summering. Was a special poll conducted in Ashanti conducted in Esutifi South, Esunafo South, Tano South, and Tano North in the Ahafo region. 27% of voters believe Ghana is headed in the wrong direction. 21% believe it is headed in the right direction, and 52% did not have an opinion. All this blah, 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 and so forth. Give us a sense of understanding of what really happened on the ground.
Ahafo is a bit tough for both MPP and NDC in any aspect. Here parliamentary seats now, and in fact, 2 places already be very close. Asutifi South and Asunafo South. Honorable Collins Dauda and Opoku they are in a dogfight.
Oh, okay.
So
Dauda and Opoku.
Yes,
2 candidates.
They always engage in a fight before they win their seat. So it doesn't surprise me. The surprise the woman Tano South and Tano North. Currently, MPP in hold those seats. No, Tano North Frida Pempe former seat Gideon Boaku Akotuna Frekunyaso. In TFA, I say a tussle between NDC candidates and Gideon Boaku, but any easy work.
Boaku is coming in, correct? It's a new person coming in.
He is from the office of the vice president.
Yeah.
Contesting Tano North.
So, per your polls, does it look like, yes, it's going to make some strikes and all of that? How significant the chances?
Osha Erikopuku race now too close to call. Erikopuku was 37%. And MPP Frank Duse Puku also 39%. So when they are time, it's actually a time. But you have about 19% said undecided. Their fate hangs in the hands of this undecided.
Really?
So it depends on where they will swing to. Almost swing you call Frank Duse here, but almost swing you call he will carry the day. But from experience, in opinion poll, so we are incumbent. Now, a month for those undecided. It's very unlikely to be
Since to give us
say we are incumbent.
Incumbent, okay.
Now a month for don't say undecided. decided, normally it doesn't favor you.
So decided it doesn't favor you. But undecided, no, likely say they are going for you.
So that is the normal trend for polling. But Oshe Elikopoku any Dauda, opposition candidate, defend the seat. But naturally, no, the wind of there's a wind of change.
That's right.
And that wind of change normally support the opposition candidate.
Okay. Yeah.
It's slightly different in the sense that they are having the wind of change behind them compared to MPP candidate now. He has the wind against him because the party is struggling elsewhere.
Great. So in this one, if you take us into the figures, as it were undecided candidates, how is the figures reading?
Opoku, as I said, 36.6%. And Frank, you do say Poku, 39%. So this will go ahead.
Quite significant.
No, just 2%. 36 or 37 and 39. So
okay.
2%
difference.
And 19% say undecided. So these guys, say if they are kind of change people, they will likely go to vote for Eric Opoku. But some feel say 1 year, then they will go to Frank Eduse. But it is more likely say they will go for Eric Opoku because of the wind of change.
In the very position we find, the situation on the ground.
Yes.
Great. Now, with regards to your friend saying whether the government is doing well or not doing well and all of that, on your executive summary, you also got some percentages to walk us through.
Normally, or say what's happening in the region, normally depends on what people are saying about how they feel about the country. About 27% say Ghana is headed in the wrong direction. And 21 say right direction.
And this is in Ahafo region?
In Ahafo region, these 4 constituencies.
Okay.
And 52 say they have no opinion. Say Ekuyu, say Nkuyu. So Utumbu said there is something hidden in this Ahafo. And ABIA, they are not happy, but they don't want to say it openly. So Matusu said they have no opinion. But Oshe, the approval of the president, there you see a bit of clarity.
Okay.
But 34% say Obono Homodi. And 52 say Omono Homodi.
Yeah.
And then 14% say they have no opinion. So this gives you a bit of hint as whether they are happy or not. So clearly, they are not happy.
Other presidents, Ebemu. So, for example, I'm seeing that on the question of who is the best ever head of state, Kwame Nkrumah Edin Etope up 41% John Mahama and J. Kufuor tied on 34% Nanado, 28% Jerry Rawlings. And then Tamils also tied up 25% Edward Ekufu. And Hillary Mamuna Ebemu. Why the people took this direction way?
No, it was this time when so now you perceive from the ordinary voters, they share the same view as Napo. And I said Napo was just
so sounds good.
It was a bit of to see, he said it. He could be right, it could be wrong. But in some places, we saw in fact, he was right in some places because they were putting Kufuor ahead of Kwame Nkrumah. So it's not entirely. It's not entirely say one story say BBI Kwame Nkrumah. No. So in Hafono, the best for them was Kwame Nkrumah, 41%, followed by John Mahama, 34%, then Kufuor, 34%, Nanado, 28%, Rawlings, 25%, and 25% at Tamils, and Akufo-Addo Edward, 6%. Now, you see, we share this number, 34% say John Mahama is the best, beside Nkrumah.
In Ahafo.
It tells you, say, in a critical way, that is how they could vote. It's another way of.
And that's still against. It's a sign of a wind of change blowing, kind of.
There are so many things.
And it go along with the parliamentary.
You can see. Say there is some level of wind blowing.
Musa. Now, So, still, what do we have to know still in a half or other in Yamamoye?
You know, basically 4 seats and a check you 4 out of 4 seats. No, in fact, there are total of 6 seats over half. 2 and Kopoku air too close to call. It means it can go either way.
I see.
But in Tano North, which is Pius Opoku NDC, it was 75% against Gideon Baku, 22%. So I think, say, if this continues, it's unlikely, say, Gideon Baku could make it.
I see.
What is happening then is, as a Freedom Corps for no, they are not voting for Gideon Baku.
Why? Did you get answers for?
No, we don't ask why, because look, we know the way race a contested in the NDA, so there's no calm in Tano. Some people are both say Freedom Pemper has lost a seat to Gideon Baku, so it's time to pay back. And now Hong Kong, there are other places are almost 2. In fact, we share areas are a man and some seat no. Those who have taken over from the women are struggling in the polls. Yes. Seeing places like Akotia, they are struggling because the woman they ran off against Lucia, and people are not voting for that person. The same thing is applying a bit of that in Dominicabina as well.
I see. Great. Now, and so then I can say we are done with Ahafo, correct? Or there's something that we still need?
Largely, in terms of...
because on the seat in the penna, politically, and make it, you know, that is very significant to watch.
Yeah, in terms of presidential, I think as no full South, Baumia Elidi Mahama, 53, yes, okay. 42%. And as to TV South, Baumia Elidi 58 to 41%.
Oh, that's significant.
But Tano South, Mahama 66%, and Baumia 34%. And at Tano North, Mahama is 74%. And
Tano North, Mahama is
74%. And Baumia 24%. So Mahama LED 2, and Baumia LED 2.
Yeah, can we get the winner post on the screen so that our viewers can also follow Musa whilst he's giving the winner directive? Okay, Musa, go on.
So this is what you can see. So far, the way Ahafo is going, it's going to be very close election this time. Yes.
But maybe John Mahama, LED 74, that's Tano North.
Tano North, yes.
I see. So, do you see a contest or is it a done deal for John Mahama? And
no, in polling, you can't say it's a done deal. We have about 3 months more to go before the election.
Okay.
But he has a very solid lead.
I see.
Post the and they say, so, at the moment,
anything can change.
Yeah, he is in a very strong lead. Yes.
I see. What else are we to still know?
Yeah, so Ahafo, broadly, this is what is happening now. So we expect Ahafo a much closer race than it has ever been.
Seni now so is within that it's a region
yeah, part of
exactly
Bono and Bono East
and all of that. Great. Now let's focus on Bono now. Now Bono no Yensha Free baby executive summary was him. A special poll conducted in Peru East, Sena West, Kintampo South, and Tichiman South in the Bono East region indicates that 65% of voters believe Ghana is heading in the wrong direction. 17% believe it is headed in the right direction, and 18% did not have an opinion. 49% of voters say their living standard has worsened compared to a year ago. 13% say. Musa, what are we to know much?
You know, the measure is first look at certain.
You are like a diagnostic. You diagnose people's mind.
So almost say, Enkuya or wrong direction is a sign. It's the first warning. 81% of Bono East for say, maybe on minor corner, and then 12% say, be a nominal, and 7% say, omni opinion. This way a very clear sign say things will not go well for the incumbent government in Bono East. And then when you call themselves, okay, or man penny or body and I say on homebody, then 69% say on mono homebody.
69%,
yes.
Hey, Esopao.
And 25 say Obon Homodi, and then 6% say they have no opinion. So these two key questions, you know, it tells you what might happen down the line. And then Oshe Omo almost say Obasinemo Ayedin compared to a year ago, a 57%.
Omasitemo
Ayedin compared to a year before, which means Omobotomunye. The economy has hit them. And our mama say and society 29%. Our mama say I improve just 10%. And 4% say only opinion. So it means the economy is really taking a bite on that region.
So Ebasa, for example, the 4%, you know, with in your experience, you know, would they finally have an opinion and to decide what to do?
Oh yes, yes. I mean, the fact say when new opinion about his living standard doesn't mean say who he's going to vote for. Some will say, oh, he's still undecided. But most of them decide to say, I'm away and ask mercy and ask mercy.
I see. Wow. Now, into Osha, then it means Sa party see Pro East, Sena, West, Kentampo, and then I say for politically, which of the parties in our face will make the headlines in the assessment of presidential elections and all of that?
I think Kintampo South. Oh no, where is it? Bono East. Okay.
Okay. Yes, Bono East.
We are doing Bono East.
Bono East region. Yeah.
I think I may have gotten the wrong report. Bono East.
Bono East region. Yes. And say Osha Bono East. East. You were Senate West.
Yes.
East. Pro East. And a Kintampo South. Techiman South. 5th August, and I'm where I report.
Okay, let me just get the right report. Okay, numbers. In fact, it's almost similar to
a half of
yes,
kind of.
But yeah, share yes what we have seen there, and in. So, for example, let's start Pro East. Pro East NDC candidates, no, were almost 37% of the vote.
NDC candidates, no.
37%. Oh. And MPP candidate Yusuf Apia. Were 18%. And another candidate, Felix Kwabena Nimako, 26%. And about 20% say undecided. So even though the NDC leads, indications say a bit of a good race because of the independent candidate. But it appears NPP candidate is way behind in Pro East.
Pro East, right.
Over Sene West, NDC candidate Kwame Chumasi Ampofu, 52%.
Okay, Kwame Chumasi Ampofu.
Yes, and MPP Joseph McKay, Kuma about 38%, and 8% say Obatoma another person, 1% undecided. Very likely say Sene West is going to go NDC again. Oshe,
wow.
Kintampo, very tricky. Kintampo South.
Felicia
J, 29%. Alexander Jan, incumbent MP, 25%. But 46%.
46.
Undecided.
Hey. Where?
They have
wow.
They have to go ahead.
And the South 46 way, per your experience, what is that this 46 can do?
No, they can do a lot because they are huge. Anywhere they go, you collapse. So that's how they behave. But the advantage for Felicia is that she is carrying with her the wind of change. So it's likely said these people would go with the flow.
Will go with the flow.
Yes.
Wow.
And then the last one, Techiman South.
That's right. Techiman South. 8 people were reported shot.
Techiman South.
Techiman South. Okay. Give us the figures.
I think the NDC guys will be shocked.
Because, really? They'll be shocked?
Yeah, because Bayre, NDC candidate. Bayre is around 20%.
Then he's not making any rules. No.
And
then I guess
Mr. Kosa is very strong.
Is making fact, a huge
almost 59%
wow
of the vote, and 19% undecided. Even if
19%.
What the Omukra can end this in a very tough race. They have a lot of work to do.
I think Sir Mr. Kosa has done considerably, remarkably well. Yeah. So he's leading by 52.
58, almost 59%, 58.9%.
Hey. And the barrier is making 20%. Oh, no. Watching him. So undecided and cry is saying
19.
What
the camp
so split it, crown.
No, don't split. The funny number, around 39 to 40.
58 against
40. Yeah, in the end, it could be around 40 in race. I think Martin Kosa probably has done something magic there.
Yeah.
They have to find out why.
He's been with the people of Techiman South now, very close.
And another thing I think we found is about 20% of NDC supporters are voting for James Akosa.
Why?
Because of who he is or what he's been doing.
Okay, can we also say the adverse, so it could be the NDC candidates on the ground, Christopher Byre, has a lot of spots he needs to clean his.
Perhaps.
Okay.
Because in fact, only 9% of MPP people are voting for.
I see.
Byre.
This candidate, yes, and I'm glad, Musa, you are doing this with me tonight. Now, NDC for Bekaya, Christopher Byre, you're running a story with Yaha. And I said to the NDC, Sa papa na mon redraw no, na mon pa another candidate. I'm surprised tonight. Me nim kwen fa so oppose we about, but to say between Mensa Kosa and Christopher Byre, the figures are reading explicitly clear that Ebeya Asam Kesiama. Because Papa no why nime bebre. I think he was with Minister of Health.
It's not the local government minister.
Sorry?
It's not the local government minister.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about AFN. I'm talking about Christopher Byre.
Oh, okay.
Previously, now he was with the Minister of Health. And nime bebre koswa corruption here. I think he was also spotted in the Auditor General's report of some corruption there. So me name why, what kind of due diligence the NDC did, and so to be able to put that man on that seat. And we are also closing up on that constituency so much for some very good reason. Now, Musa, what else do we need to look at?
So these are the 4 AE in the area. But also in terms of the overall presidential one, Mahama is 56%. These 4 constituencies. Tachima South, Puru East, Sene West, and Akentampo South. Mahama 55.8%.
55.8. Wow.
Baomia 26%. Alan 6.4%. Bediako 8.8%. And others 3%.
And this is constituency ban, no?
Where all the Bono East,
all the Bono
yes, put together now. Yes.
So then we can say John Dramani Mahama of NDC issue 2 up there is going for glory in this constituency way.
Yeah, I mean basically we share the way I talked about last time.
Yeah.
Mahama around 55% according to Kasai. So in terms of Mahama, the numbers in NCSI. But Baumia accord down because now we have 41% Bono East, according to the people we spoke to. So Oshe maybe Baumia was saying about 26%. So the rest has gone to Alan and Anakwam Bediako.
Wow, almost split or no. Now, what could be that of? Is it Alhaji Baumia is not appealing to them? It's not a candidate.
No, this election sometimes it goes beyond the appeal. People are complaining about the economy. So they are voting with their feet, their pocket.
Quite explosive though. Folks, Yene Musa, Executive Director, Emma, Global Info Analytics, and very latest poll Eba. Now, Oshe, 6 regions, constituencies of my Maza. Wow, figures very explosive now. With the constituencies we are so far in the Bono region, There is a Mahama A lead saying 55.8%. All the contestants in there good and say. Yebetimi say John Dramani Mahama is making the waves constituents way in the Bono region. This is very frightening. Folks, tonight we're giving you all the very latest and all the markings there. And of course, we're also doing the permutations, to give you what you can quickly guess ourselves. And Adrian and Adria says here to about saying and a neoma ebekono any nano acquain who be papa. Now, my name Musa Ebabeko a year the last regional one more equaye idruma ewoho. Now, folks, I don't know, say menko short break na memra, but quickly menko break. Now, some bibri, mame and share messages be what say. Quick. Now, let me give a message to Recuse. Who should share biogas expert for home? Biogas expert for no. Mr. Bomodiana Fre, your WhatsApp line no. Name fa number no amount. Why? And also still Recuse with me apeke a year man quickly. Na menye friends say mame emfe mouse is here. Biogas expert for no Recuse utie Woman money is 055 589 3001. Mississippi 055 589 3001. And I MC Amofan Toso MIY. Only one of it. Yes, and that screen is Recuse Mr. and then I down. Bomodiana from will be our pese. One more Ayamano, one more Bayama, Recuse and tea. Minimo area or not just a baby added Nakunam. My mention before many Musa Abemu quick. He say, Yeba Ashanti Region. Assembly see Ashanti Region. Assembly, Yeba be PP in so good evening, everyone. Quick one and keep say and keep going. We also say vote CPP to power. Fellery and so I say I salute you, bro, watching you live from Atlanta, United States. To also say trust your weekend was fantastic. Keep up with the good work. Yes, Valerie. BBR so come on. Oba Weza. I say Jonas. I say good evening. It has been alleged that there was sharing of 20,000 Ghana cedis at Baumia's Meet the Press yesterday. Do you know anything about it, Pacho? My name is Rifan. Na me ni hobby so. Aha, me ye me duma na enra dem I busy, but we're monitoring the situation. John Bosco say, indeed, Kofi Annan is one of the few credible media people in Ghana now. Are you sure of that? Seda, I say one thing is clear about very honest, credible, and clever. He's not government official one. Okay. I said that also Baumia has not been investigated by his boss. Okay. Also then we also say cheap politics. Can you tell Ghanaians John Mahama is a thief, shameful MPP? Just I have back-to-back platform. We also say Charles Bruce also say Asida Adepa. So you have not given up after your own OSP have given you an uppercut knock. Okay. Messages my main friend has a memra Musaso. I'll say, how can Ghanaians be living in a tropical zone of the world and cry for food? All the slides that Dr. Nkrumah built. Are you talking? Oh, silo. Sorry, built has not been turned into. Has all been turned into charges building. Where are your dams that paid for? Okay, Recuse say this is why we are calling for a union government that was initiated for Ghana. We want a democratic union government, same as India. Okay, we also union government and national agenda. I also suggest is parliamentary elections should be held every 2 years. I'm sure that's what we want to say, to keep our MPs on their toes. And okay, messages now. Edoso papa. Now, yebeba Ashanti region abeyadi oho, and there's very interesting developments in Ashanti region. Pretty fascinating, folks. Mame Enjo say, good evening, boss. JDM must win this election. I am Abdul, and ode ebae. We so say, let's all remember that John Mahama was never hit by any global disaster before. If that had happened under Mahama, you can guess what would have happened. The desperation by John Mahama to return to power speaks volumes about his wicked and evil intention. Abba say, Hawa Kumsin Twaso, may Almighty Allah have mercy on us. Mad Hungry Lion from Kaswan Odebaya, also the enemy. Good evening, Kweku. Dr. Baumia has no excuse rather than to admit Kennedy Japan advised the NPP to admit that they have disappointed Ghanaians and apologized to Ghanaians. That was why Baumia admitted to the truth. Baumia is the true definition of lies. But Baumia shouldn't forget that fools also grow old. Baumia can fool some Ghanaians all the time. He can fool all Ghanaians for some time, but he can't fool Ghanaians all the time. Allah will save us from this NPP looting charlatans, inshallah. Prince from Tamale, Enode Ebae. Yes, viewers in Tamale, Majonia. We also say, I am NS Makpa. Please ask Musa, what about Rinchi? Musa, take notes of that. We'll be some. Okay. We also say, good evening, Uncle Kweku, and I hope everything is cool at your end. Listening to Baumia during the recent media encounter, it becomes evident that he is not fully in tune with the pressing issues. From his answer on the 2020 electoral violence therein, despite chairing the police council, to the looming lawsuit by pharmaceutical doctors against the government and the worsening hardships across the country, including concerns in the cocoa industry, it is clear that he is not on top of these critical matters. From Daniel Kofi Ajman, Gomwa Kwekuma, and Odifri Ebayam. We shall say, hello, Kweku, good evening. Kweku, can you please send me a biogas company number? Biogas company number. We are fre number we na yemfema. And also, why ready? Yeah, the two screen so 555893001. And I'll bet me a fre number we near the amount. Why? But what the from WhatsApp number fre back near for Emma. We also salam alaikum. NDC manifesto is the best for Ghanaians, but NPP manifesto is Bukata for Ghanaians. Isa from Insawum Zongo. And we also say it is only lazy and super incompetent government that depends solely on the Bank of Ghana for its survival. Where are the so-called men, Musa Tamale and also Eddie Freebaye? Good evening, Mr. Annan. Yesterday during the press meeting, it came clear to me that 50% of Ghanaians, not 50% Ghanaians, rot is being supported by the journalists due to funny statement, question like the media yesterday. Kudos to journalists like you who has Ghana in heart by Sir A.B. Asinfosu and our free Ebae. We say, good evening, Kweku. I say, yes, a champion did that. And I also remember also J.J. Rawlings introduced food distribution company and gave money and cutlasses to the people who returned from Nigeria in 1983 and other people to grow food. Yeah, Rawlings to see pa. MPP, current MPP, NDC, or say MPP is now useless. Ash. Napo pa. I said earlier that this Baumia and Napo would collapse the party, but still they defend their unnecessary act. Or say inti Ghana penye. Baumia knows theory in economics, but not practical aspect. He's a liar, and Napo has started saying at least Dr. Kwame Nkrumah never chew corn in public. Tell him to learn manners. The Audeka in person is quite derogatory. Now we all say, good evening, bro. I say, hey, so-called prophet was on Paul Adumoche's show on Friday. He claimed that Dr. Baumia would win 50.9%. Kindly look for him and tell him that he is ignorant about the current situation in Ghana. He should stop lying in a fool's paradise. Ghanaians are too clever to fall for this kind of deceit. I'm Jane Baptist, is it something from Tema, Newtown? Sorry, said the rest of the name in Miambo. Now, my main last one, Prince O. Achiao, Kumasi, the MPP only trusted manifesto is the Ejapadia book. Great folks, Mami Fancy and Amemra, Afi Yebura, Ashanti region. Saying Ena global info analytic for Womusira Ashanti region, a DNAC or Ashanti region. Now listen, I'll say. Second opinion poll carried out in Ashanti region for the 2024 election shows Dr. Baumia leading in the region with 65%, John Dramani Mahama on 24%, Alan Shamantin 9%, Nana Kwabe Bidiakon 1%, and the rest of the candidates 1%. Compared to the July 4th poll, which was conducted days after Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh was announced as the running mate for Dr. Baumia, which showed DMB on 73%, JDM on 15%, AKK on 9%, NKB on 2%, and the rest on 1%. The new poll point to lost momentum in the region as DMB dropped 7.6% and Nana Bediakon 1.3%. JDM gains in the poll came from DMB and Nana Bediakon. On comparative basis, 73% of voters in 2020 voted for Nana and all of that. Now, let me leave this to Musa to give us a clear understanding. Musa, what are we reading?
Yeah, Ashanti region is became very interesting.
Very interesting, isn't it?
From polling perspective. One thing about polls is that the regular you go there, the better you understand what is happening there. It's not good enough just go there once and leave the place. It doesn't give you the true picture.
A clear picture of the situation.
See, I think almost letting Napo, and then went ahead to inaugurate, and a call of just the first.
Tell me, you inaugurate,
Yes, in fact, okay. we went
prior
there,
to.
I think we went there just after inauguration of Napo and nomination. I can't remember exactly what time. In today, Percy who said, Oma nominate Napo will it have a big impact on MPP numbers? No,
I see.
Because almost say if they win big in Ashanti region, it means they will win the election.
Exactly.
So as a pollster, you don't want to be taken by surprise.
That's right.
You want to know what is going on at every point in time. So you cohort that time.
Okay.
You call you amount for feedback.
Okay.
As to what they want to do. At the time, I think now GM or 15%.
Great. Now let's emphasize a point there. What Musa is saying, not just say it was around the time and Babe inaugurated the running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, and it's a lesson and listen carefully because Ashanti region is beginning to shake up. Trust me, folks. Yeah, Musa.
So then Baumia was on 73%.
Baumia?
Yes.
73%. Okay.
And Alan 9%. Bediakon 2%.
I see.
And Omama Kano 1%. So on that score, they were almost doing the same level of vote as 2020 elections at that point.
Yeah.
Until after a month, and it's not called Ebium. Your core, the story was a bit different. In the sense,
no, sir. After a month, now Napo has been inaugurated.
And he's gone to the ground. He's made some moves. He's gone around and all sort of things. And remember, post Kwame Nkrumah comment.
That's right.
So that really drew a bit of sharp criticism across the country. So your core back, you could see the effect of that recent years. So the signs were, for example, Ibisa almost said, will the nomination of Napo make it more likely for them to vote for MPP and just to see whether
in the Ashanti region.
The Ashanti region. In the first poll, no almost say yes, 62%.
62%.
Yes.
Okay.
Napunti, they're likely going to vote for MPP in the region. But 21 say No, it's not likely to influence them. And 17% say only neutral, neither likely or unlikely. Neutral, 17% at that time.
Okay.
Your call second time, you know. Now, mom say likely, you know, a drop from 62 to 58%. It means its effect begins to wane.
Let us say, Kasana na Poko Kasana.
I think yes.
Chances on the
I think
ground.
it did some damage. And now, mom say unlikely, you know. I shoot you up from 21% to 29%.
Repeat that again.
Mom say. Na post nomination is unlikely to influence them. No? I shoot you up from 21 to 29%.
29%.
Yes, about 8% increase.
8% adding up.
Yes. So this is a very early warning, sir. Then the number they will get could decline. Into Uber,
Ashanti
region. Uber, in fact, before we get to the other who is the best ever president?
Who is ever best
ever president in Ghana? And Akufo was top.
Kufuor top,
yes, it was Ashanti region.
Wow.
So on that note, you see, Napo was correct. Ashanti region, cannot be compared to Napo, to Kufuor.
Like seriously?
Oh, yeah, that's what people said. Yes, and that's their view. We are in the view. You can't force everybody to say.
This is shocking, eh?
No, it's not shocking. It's not shocking.
That's not what you here.
No, but people have a way of assessing individuals.
Okay, I can understand why, because there's a history, there's an antecedent of the Ashantis and their way of looking at.
Nkrumah was second. And third, Nanado.
I see.
And then you have fourth, Gerald Rawlings. And then Atta Mills, fifth, Mahama, sixth, about 13%. So it's like that, yes. So and you will be and believe that Kwame Nkrumah is the best. People, but probably across the country, you could have a majority of people saying Kwame Nkrumah is the best.
I see. So now, in terms of polling, between MPP and NDC, if we have to zero down to this, who among the two, and are making striking marks in Ashanti region as of the last poll?
So the last poll, John Mahama was on 23.7%.
23.7% in Ashanti region.
Remember, before that, now 15%. So Wakosoro 8.7% between the two polling period.
In Ashanti region. Now.
And Baumia has come down from 73 to 65.4. Down about 7.6%. Or 8 points. And then Alan remained the same, largely 9.2.
9.2,
no, or 9% before, but 9.2.
And
Bediako dropped from 2% to 0.7%. Bediako numbers drop, and then Baumia numbers drop, it went to John Mahama in that period.
Folks, this is very, very striking, pretty fascinating. I mean, I don't know, but say MPP for no more share program, more share the equity, the equity. Naturally, say, is it there's this strange dichotomy I'm trying to make a sense of it. Say, if again, Musa, listen to this and see where you get me an answer. Just say, if Napo makes a comment such as a quote, Mokwame Nkrumah, and that infuriates people on the ground about the fact that yes, one can say but then again, the same Ashantis are also saying, say, the best president, Eye Kufuor. So they have a certain dislike for the Kwame Nkrumah.
No, but so I don't think they like the way Napo said it.
Oh.
Sometimes you can say somebody is the best without looking disrespectful. That's how.
So that's the operative word. Omuadie. Any that kind of.
No, I mean, I don't want to go into that kind of. But from that comment,
that's right.
People took it as if say a bit derogatory. You could have said, in my view, Kwame Nkrumah, this person is the best president.
Yeah.
Kwame Nkrumah. Yeah. And I don't think there will be any brouhaha because the polls in Ashanti region show say yes, for Ashanti region, Kufuor is the best, and that's the fact there.
Yeah, yeah. So, instead, inauguration of Napono should shoot their numbers up to resonate a certain direction, rather drop it.
Yes, I mean, you know from different angles. There were positives and negatives. But I think the negatives outweigh the positive. Oshe omwa omuye MPP for omutuma baomia. Within that period, no, that number went up by 2 points.
Okay.
2 points. So now you have about 2 points. And then but omuye floating voters no. Say MPP so far. Because
floating voters, they assemble
Baumia propose almost 17 points among floating voters in Ashanti region. And Mahama equals about 6 points. And Alan equals 13 points in Ashanti. So these were the movement that equals dramatic shift in Baumia's numbers from 73 to 65.4%.
So we can say that in Ashanti region tonight, the National Democratic Congress led by John Dramani Mahama is making a new rules. I mean, the permutations
you see, from the data, he's more or less in the same position as he was in the last election.
The trajectory hasn't changed.
Hasn't changed. It is Baumia who has suffered because of Alan and Bediako in the race.
Exactly. Then I'm now getting the point.
Yes, because Mahama is doing 23.7%. Last time only 24 point something, so slightly within the same range. But Baumia was dropped from 72 Nado, or Nado last time, to around 65. So that is where the problem is, and those numbers echo Alan Chermating and Anakwam Bediakunche. And so that is the problem of MPP. It is the Alan and Cheddar effect. That is what is depriving them of that numbers they were looking for.
Asemi Obi who can say, Charlie, Alan are dropping out of the MPP is really going to be a blow to the MPP in many constituencies, regional capitals, and of course, this snowball effect is beginning to yield some phenomenon striking, and that's very, very serious. That MPP would have to look into the space. If they have the magic ball, and they will look at it or the magic wall and begin to do the arithmetics and striking. Now, Musa, looking at your figures, if the NPP, of course, this being their World Bank, I had no work. Free her, challenge. There's no area, baby or meko. And me adio. If you are to diagnose between now and say the month of a year, say November, can the MPP do some magics there? Still, with the running mate factor, the common denominator is the running mate.
I think
and
they are
kind of
look. So long as Alan is in the race, so long as Alan is in the race, maybe as for Bediako, we can maybe discount his numbers because numbers have dropped.
Okay,
but Alan is the significant threat
to the MPP in Ashanti region.
Absolutely, Ashanti region and one region, both him and Bediako are biggest threat as well.
What about Western region?
Western region, in fact, we are currently in the Western region doing some polls there, and the initial figures we've seen have shown say he's going up. Alan and Anakwame, they are showing up quite stronger.
So they are neck to neck in raising. Kind of.
No, I can't say I haven't got the figures yet, but they are doing a lot better than they used to, and that number is coming from MPP numbers. The same effect, because wherever MPP is strong, Bediako and Alan are taking from the same pot. NDC is not divided. NDC people are voting one way.
I see.
And they're also getting the help of floating voters. But the MPP guys are fragmented.
The word fragmented. This is quite very, very striking. Musa, what else do we have to know in Ashanti region before I let you go?
We are starting another poll on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
We are tracking the poll in Ashanti region. So by next week, Monday, we will see the current state of Ashanti region compared to the last time we went there. And the same week, we will release the Western region as well.
Okay.
Western region, 5 of the key constituencies in the central region. Western region.
Okay.
Takrade, Sekendi, Kwesimintim, Efia, and Isikado Keta.
I'm interested in Western region. Kwesimintim, and Isikado.
Isikado Keta.
Yeah. A Japanese constituency name.
Sekendi.
Very, very interesting consistency. Very interesting power. Yeah. Okay, great. So what do we need to know more in Ashanti region?
I think Ashanti region will be it will not be easy for them to achieve the 85% or 80%. Yes.
Folks, I don't know if done the race is getting tough and tougher for SMP. Now, Musa, before you go, my last poll, before election.
Yeah, release program today. The next polls, beside Western region, Ashanti region, currently we are doing national telephone tracking poll. Yani amount for a telephone so across the country. That one out, I think, towards second week of September.
Any a nationwide
by telephone. Your amount for numbers I know to see their views.
Really?
And no the preview of October. October. October no boot on the ground.
Okay. Men in the boots.
Men in the boot on the ground, not on telephone. October they will come back and look at it and report. November no, fa boot unko. Telephone again. Now the telephone no compare boot there no. Now the projections for December.
Oh, international poll.
Yes.
Wow. That's quite a great, folks. Into Musa Dankwa Abemaya, all the breakdowns, the permutations na yashini na no. Folks, Muano Munjajimamo. Now, Yankupon Yadma on Wednesday, Yeni Musa Ebabe discuss it, the remaining, that will be Ablikuma. Central Wager Bawe constituency. Then we'll look at Bono East, and then we'll look at Eastern region. We'll look at Northern region. I'm very much interested in what is happening in the Northern region because there's a very funny campaign because our Northern region. I'm perceiving say polls at the Northern region. Still, the focal point or the sharp focus will be on NDC and MPP, and they said more performance. Well, folks, wouldn't mean if you didn't do a BRC here. Now we are also going along with global info analytics for, of course, here in UK, said on post and they've never gotten it wrong. This is why I trust my brother Musa. Any permutations normally have to Jack. This is pretty fascinating, and I'm sure, sir, the political parties in Nagasanso are also watching the space, engaging how the space nego. Musa, you better was and then we'll touch base with you on Wednesday. Then we'll look at the rest of the region. Great. And see, we'll let Musa off the hook. Nafi. You're making kind more messages, and then we just make folks. I critical, MPP. See, I said here can we share breaking news here. Yeah, they are two for me. I say me who catch them. You who can you? Opoku asam wo kokan wa Ashanti region. Ya no ho bibi ho. Wow, my main share message say hello. Kweku, I'm appalled by Ghanaians' food insecurity crisis, citizens' indifferences and leaders' negligence are unacceptable. Where are the true defenders of Ghana? Better, both MPP and NDC have failed us. Let's break the cycle of bad governance by voting for an independent presidential candidate who prioritize the nation's well-being. No more politics as usual. Echo Thomas from Tema Community 4. No, or see, good evening, Kweku. More fire. The NPP may try hard to cover the airwaves so that the NDC may not be heard. What a wicked group of people ruling us. Togbe Awoku 11. Dansuma now. Say, please, is Baumia and group living in? We are living in a country as a refugees. The cost of living is like a being in hell. No. Kweku, good evening. This elections is done deal for JDM. Looking at the self-inflicted hardship bestowed on us is unprecedented. The corruption, ineptitude, arrogance, and unbridled disrespect displayed by this administration is mind-boggling. They have looted all our resources and stashed same in their bedrooms, turned into banks. God's willing, we would relegate these corrupt government behind us because the cascading effect is hard to bear. PK, Kaswa, and Odifri Ebaim. Good evening, Kweku. Continue with the good work. Cause we want people like you to keep us informed. I am Na Aducho from Choco, Santana. Please tell the authorities our roads are very bad. We beg them to come fix it. Right. Okay. Let me show you. I'll say, hi, good evening, my brother. It's me, Bernard, a.k.a. Pope. This MPP people, they haven't seen anything yet in Kumasi. Okay. As the nursing trainees, student told Vice President that they haven't been paid the allowance. He promised to pay nursing trainees allowance to the badges, and the government owes, and he owed the trainees who finished last year 15 months, which 6,000 cedis, which he didn't pay them a dime. And when finished training colleges, nurses are doing their rotation, i.e. 1 year service, are not being paid till you finish. That is 1 year. Who works without pay? It is so pathetic. Our promise, our promise paid allowance, no. Our service allowance, salary, no. Why? Ghana government. Papa. We all say, I will be surprised if Baumia gets 35% on December 7. Thanks for the good work, bro. Good evening, Kweku. Can you please ask Musa to on Ablekuma West in the Greater Accra? We are watching live from Dansuman Estate. Now, we have Ablekuma Central wager, but I'm sure say draw. But let's see Wednesday. So gauge the space Wednesday if it's going to be possible for. Well, say hi, host. The polls are interesting. Many of us are still wondering why people are still going around campaigning to vote for NPP again. Same people would go to the markets and at workplaces be complaining. This are hard. Things are hard. Okay. What at all is wrong with some people of us? Francis Accra, NOD, Efri, Ebae. My main kind last will say, hello, Kweku. I say, I disagree with your praise for the Vice President's media meeting performance. Good governance needs tangible results, not just words. He failed to address food insecurity, corruption, and economic struggles. We need action, not rhetoric. We need a better Ghana. Echo Thomas. Okay. Oh, that's your view, isn't it? Inti ohono said the American ewohono. Inti and also odiano. My memory online is near radiation. Yanre the course everywhere. Folks, but time no cross on. Somebody must see here. John Ken or say Akufo-Addo can never be trusted and better than Rawlings and Professor Mills. Or say you are always on point, bro. Someone are not just say Ghanaian journalists is the biggest problem in Ghana. Honestly, no. We are say first time Baumia has been honest. Ghana was heading towards Sri Lanka economic merit down, meltdown. Yes. Or to us was him. No. Okay. And some people, Nana Bolas or say, resting Ghana, let us all be upstanding, not bystanders. And all can folks, somebody musia. Yankopon Adama Wednesday, but the 3 remaining, Inti more Ablekuma, Central, Wager, Bawe, Bono East, and then Eastern region, Northern region, Ebe Butu. We have all the answers for you. Ebe Sembe bro. Folks, Midimusia, this has been the front line with Kwekwanan, and of course the great guy Semame Chidomno, Ruby X is up there, and of course Bestmark Echo on also Emame Push Up, and then the online editor Kens is up there. Indefatigable Man himself, executive producer Yamba is out there. And then the second indefatigable man, Credible, who just returned, of course, after short illness, and he's back on duty. Great guys, Emma, me support, between the show and the bro. It was here, Yanko Ponya Duma. Shannon so say in the coming month, in the month of October, October month, the Frontline show would go out front in its latest review of the Japadia document. And we are entreating listeners and viewers to gauge the space in the coming months. The review of a Japadia, ya tunidin a Japadia decide. Emube papa. Ya the 1 month in the bear review, 1 solid month, and the bears are reviewing. Sense a nyoma young cover, massa, a zempi. Birimu siani amiadma about wabium. Shannon so Frontline program where I'm in my Uko YouTube wa edaho. Ko na san ko hwebium na wasoma uniebi na uniebi susu enhwe wate mesel okwa subscribe your link no my CTV we no subscribe and become a subscriber send be ye program bia na ure fi hu kra na obetimi adan akai na wetimi akwa kohwema niam ina did na kwem. My name still remain Kweku Anan, your investigative journalist. Same time Wednesday I come your way. Folks, stay out of trouble. The month is going gradually, and Chakra 7 December. NPP, Ashanti Region, the capital, Kumasi Yemu base, all is not well there. Meaning, but I'm sure someone will know some of your home Ashanti Region, it may fall to more fingertips. At the same time, I come your way Wednesday. Have a good night.
CTV,